Hello, good evening, everyone. We take this opportunity to welcome you to our webinar today on child online safety. So feel much welcome to this webinar tonight. Sorry, we've run some 11 minutes late due to some of us who had difficulties logging in. But if you are just joining right now, you're in the right place. This is the child online safety training for the parents that we have been organizing over a few couple of weeks. And we thank you for taking your time to joining here today. Yes, so this training will be recorded as you have been cautioned. So it's also be shared on our platform so as it's also everyone else can have some level of access and you can go through it at your own particular time. So without wasting much of the time, going to be your presenter, Simon Mwangangi, Joseph Kome, and Laken Modoni, Ali, and Dennis Kitonga are going to be my co-organizers. So if you have any challenge either joining or rejoining, if you encounter any technical problems, you can always reach out to them and they'll be able to actually support you. We are today empowering parents to unlock the potential of a secure digital space for their children. And we all know that the core goal why we work so hard as parents is to make sure that our children succeed in life. And we are sometimes so much lost in doing some chores that include finding their upkeep, their school fees, and all that life brings to us as parents. And these are some of the things that we actually forget to take caution about. So this evening, we are going to dive deep into child protection, but we are going to generally focus on protection in the digital spaces. Yeah, so I'm going to move to the first part of this webinar will be solely to understand or kind of remind you what child protection is before we get into the real details on how to protect our children. So protection or child protection is actually defined as a way to prevent our children from getting abuse, making sure that they are not neglected or exploited or any violence done against them. And this is not just about knowing it, but it's also supposed to be creating the right environment for their children to support their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So child protection is generally creating an environment that will make sure that your children have the right environment to actually support their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And whenever we are making our life decisions, even in any other arena of life, the first thing that we do is to make sure that the child's interest comes first all the time. So even as we dive into this training, I want you to have at the back of your mind that actually the interest of the child comes first in any of decisions that we make about them. So even as we discuss about child protection, we are doing so not just because it's required by law, but because it supports their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. It is about them. It's about their interest. Here, it's not about our interest as an organization. It's not about the parental interest. It's about the child interest. And the question that comes oftenly is, how is this why is this child protection so important? So children are a foundation for the society, for the future society. And at this childhood stage, it's usually referred to as the foundational stage for the future. It's the time when children tend to develop and gain their confidence, they build their competency, and they get well adjusted to be the right adults in the future. So childhood is a very special foundational stage for every child. And for this reason, there is importance to make sure that this childhood foundational stage is taken care of and given the rights and the best environment and nurtured, because this is what is going to actually shape the future of the society from now. This is what will be the future of your family as a parent. And I know every parent, goal is to make sure that their children succeed to take up from them where they stop. And it's also not optional because it is their right to be protected. So if in any case we don't protect our children, we also find ourselves in the wrong part of the law, and not just the country law, but also international laws, because children are protected. So by protecting them, we are not doing something extra. And for you actually coming to listen on how you can protect your child online, I want you to know that it's not something that you're doing extra, but it's also part and parcel of parenting. So you'll be upholding their rights as children if you will be able to protect them. In this scenario, we will be focusing on online safety for children. And it's going to understand exactly what are we protecting them from. So we're going to take a few minutes to actually discuss, but what is this that we are actually protecting these children? It's very disturbing statistics from the world, and this is what has actually led EDCET to actually start these initiatives. Coming to know that actually 50% of teens have been exposed to inappropriate content. Inappropriate content means vulgar language. It also means explicit images, pornography, and all sort of what is not fit for their age or any non-age appropriate materials. And when you look at this, it's actually looking at any two teens, one of them has been exposed to inappropriate content. So this is why this is actually very important. And your child needs this level of protection to not undo these statistics. It's also observed that 7% of teens between the age of 12 to 17 have been targeted to cyberbullying. We know about bullying in the natural physical setup, whereby kids are bullied by adults or by their fellow children or anywhere in the neighborhood. And we have seen these bully cases, especially in high school. Everybody who has gone to to high school in the recent past has an history of, they know what the bullying is. Now, the challenge is that bullying in the cyber world is more risky because internet has an history, and this kid will be reminded of that thing 50 years to come, 20 years to come. So it is more important to know that these kids are usually a target of bullying, of cyberbullying, and we are the people to make this stop. So only 1 out of 10 kids will tell their parents they have been bullied. This is really a big problem, because some of them have seen it to be like probably a normal thing in their lives, or now just because it's very common around, they actually look at it that, you know, it's okay, I don't need to tell this to my mom, but it affects them, their psychological being, and that prevents. Remember, we saying that the well-being of the kid is what we put as a priority in making a decision in life. So if these kids are being bullied then, and they're not speaking to their parents then, Where are they? How are they coping with this level of stress? That is why we are seeing a lot of problems in teenagers, because they are handling a lot of pressure that is coming from the mostly not physical, but aware that their parents are not aware. So the same cyberspace or digital space has actually equal opportunities. And if you remember, our headline onto what led us to actually start this training is we know that parents have some level of knowledge about internet, but how they know it is very different. Mostly they could be knowing it as a place where people just come and, interact with each other socially, and actually probably through Facebook and other social medias. But I don't know how many of them know that there are actually real opportunities in the digital space. They are the same space that is very risky for our kids. The problem is that the same place that has the highest level of opportunities for these same kids. So if you are to decide on what is the best interest of our children, it becomes very much tough decision to make, because we are saying that digital spaces are a risk for our children. At the same time, they present the best opportunities for these kids. And if you look at it historically, and I've just put a few examples that we can look at, everybody here knows about Facebook to some level. And it's important to know that Facebook was founded by a 19-year-old guy called Mark Zuckerberg. And he was doing this to actually support the university that he was going to be able to match faces of people, and hence the one Facebook. So it has grown now to be what it is right now, but that was the real foundation. And the question that I get to ask myself is, what are our 19-year-olds doing right now? What are they doing? I mean, if you look at it, Bill Gates was 20 years old when he started Microsoft. And we know the current Bill Gates at one time was actually the most, the richest person in the world. And he has foundations, Bill and Melinda Foundation. He has supported zero polio and done a lot of things for this country, and also for the whole world. But he started this when he was just 20 years old. Looking at someone like Evan and Bob Murphy, they were 20 years when they started Snapchat. And we are all there using Snapchat. Our children are using Snapchat to do a lot of things. But what I find myself asking is that these people were not playing with apps like Snapchat or else in Facebook for them to be able to build these applications. There has to be something that their parents did differently. There has to be something that they themselves did differently. Michael Dell, Dell Computers started Dell Technologies when he was 19 years. And there's the youngest one, Nick, who actually created an app called Summary when he was 15 years old. 15 years old is probably someone who is in junior secondary. And he later sold it to Yahoo at $30 million, and making him become the youngest self-made millionaire of his time at 15 years. So I want us to understand that there are real opportunities in the digital space, and probably your kid is going to make more money, have a better life, have a better livelihood easier, faster than you, because of the digital economy. But we have to be very careful and deliberate on how we prepare them to develop the same mindset that these people have. And the list is wrong. For the interest of time, you can go and find out who are the top under 20 and the techpreneurs who actually started tech companies. So looking at all those people, and you can actually go and find out is what did they all have in common? They had one thing in common, and this thing is a creative developer mindset. They also computers and technology as a tool to make their life easier and to do the handwork. They never looked at technology as an entertainment device, especially in their own life. They usually thought that, this is a tool that I can use to make this world better. And this mindset was instilled to them by their environment. Like Bill Gates, her mother had actually signed him up for a computer club in his high school. And that's where he had learned about computer programming and how to solve problems using computers. He wasn't introduced to technology just as a tool to entertain himself or just watch movies or something like that. He was meant to know that it's something that they can use to actually solve real life problems. So this one, I want you to take note of it because it is what we are going to use as the foundation of our first level of defense in terms of safeguarding our children. So just note that down somewhere because we are going to reference to it. It's the first line of defense in protecting our children. It's themselves to understand that and help them to spend more time building and developing in the digital spaces. Because else, if they do that, they won't have so much time for entertainment, where most online, attacks are targeted. So they will change. There's this a dopamine that they get when they go to watch movies, when they watch cartoons, when they go to social media, when they are given likes. So it's going to be converted into them building something substantial, something useful for themselves and for their society. So the point is, we need to make our children look at technology as something to build a better life and not something that is just for entertainment. And if we do this, this is going to be their first line of defense. Anytime they get online, their first option will be, how can I know how to build a car? How can I know how to build my first business? How can I do my homework? How can I solve this particular problem? Where can I get information that is going to help me solve this particular problem? How do it's going to be more of research. It's going to be more of connecting to the right people, to the teachers, to mentors, to help them out and to support their goals. It's more about them asking themselves, how do I build a rocket, for example? And they go in there and they find a full course. So they'll be so much immersed into learning how to be substantial in terms of building real life things in the internet. And that is what's going to convert them to actually use the digital spaces to actually solve real life problems rather than being targets of an attack. So if your kid, if your son, if your daughter is more into solving a problem, you'll be seeing as technology into a problem-solving tool. So if they have that mindset, you have really to worry about what they are doing because they'll be having these exciting projects to be sharing with you. They'll be telling you, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. They'll be asking for your support. And that way, it won't be you like protecting them from not going to the wrong direction, but themselves, it becomes more self-driven. So that's the first line of defense. It's to make sure that actually our kids build the mindset of using technology as an opportunity to build, to create, and not just to consume. Most of our children are consumers of technology. We want to make them creators of technology. Because by creating, there's target those people who are creating because the tools for creation are not very much targeted by cyberbullying and all this stuff. So the second is to build a safe digital space for your family. And one way to do this is to set a specific home public space at your house for digital access. This could be a table that has a laptop or a digital space that has internet, but it's in a very public space. It could be in the sitting room, it could be in the library, it could be anywhere. But actually making sure that teens are not carrying the digital devices to their bedrooms, but there is a specific place that you can put that they know this is the safe space that they can actually go and access technology. And since it's a public space, they'll be less likely to go into things that they don't actually feel they are comfortable doing. So this is the second one after the first one, which is actually helping them be able to understand that they can do great things by use of internet rather than just consuming. So now showing them a space at where they can do that is the second line of defense, because they are places where you can actually observe them. It's just like they are at the reach of your eye. You can actually see what they are doing at that particular space. So we are going to go to look at the third line of defense, which is actually now more technical. And this is setting up parental controls to all the family devices. And this helps you to control actually screen time, filter content, and manage the applications that your children are accessing. So these ones are going to be our main focus in the next line of trainings, where we will show you the specific how to set up, first of all, this digital space, what should include, what should be there, and what are the do's and don'ts of that public space for digital access at your own house. This will help make sure that kids will know that, yes, I can responsibly access digital space and for the purpose of doing something that is positive. So as I was saying, the other one is technical, and I can tell you that if you put these 3 layers of defense, the first one is that they understand that technology is a space that they can help themselves to do great things. And second, have somewhere safe to do that. And now always know that their parents have control of the family devices, and they can control the time at which these things go up and the content that is coming to these devices in the family. That could be the TV, that could be the laptops, the phones, and whatever devices they are using. The content is filtered. Technology has provided ways at which you can make sure that every content that comes to your child's screen is filtered to be safe for their consumption. And you should be able to manage all your devices such that your children cannot just hand an app on themselves, but they need your approval to do that. So in the next series of trainings, we are going to actually focus on how can you exactly set these parental controls, which are the best devices for your children to use, what are the best practices of setting up a safe digital space for your children, and how do you manage their devices even remotely when you are not around in the house. So that's the third. The fourth one is you need to collaborate with your school and communities for support. And these communities could be your churches, could be the schools that you're going, could be the clubs where all your kids are going. And by creating an holistic approach such that when they go to church, the same message is being communicated. When they go to school, the same message is being communicated. And they have a safe access, not being denied access, but they have a safe access to technology, then it's going to help us actually fight this demon of online attacks to our children. So we are coming to the end of our presentation, and the message that we are saying is that if we can empower all parents to for a safe internet, they can give their children access to better opportunities, and they can at the same time be able to protect their children, which is their right, but also access to information is a children's right. And at the same time, leaving them to access any other content out there is actually negligence, which is an abuse of the protection of their rights. So it's our hope that as parents, we will actually commit to make sure that we keep handing skills on how we can actually continue doing that. So in our next training, we will be focusing on the technical part of things. So if I'll ask you if you actually have basic digital devices that are on your home that your kids use, you can actually We will be having a very interactive session on which we can actually give specifics on the most common devices that parents buy and how they can actually put controls to these devices. But one homework for the week is, please, even if it's just about your phone that they use or someone's phone or a family phone, set up for a start. Go and set up a safe space in your home where it's public, everybody can see them, and it's within your vicinity that children can have their time of digital space access. And from there, we continue at least building one thing on top of each other, such that now we'll be telling you next time how you are going to actually put these parental controls and what programs are the best for these children and what other activities can your children do to actually activate their creativity and developer mindset. So the next session will be focused on parental controls and tools that are available. And the other one will be on which are the best programs that can actually activate your kids' creative developer mindset, which is the foundation of self-defense for these children when they go online. So this is the end of my presentations. I will ask if you have any questions, please, you can post it on the poll on the text part, or you can actually raise your question and we can help you answer. We can have your questions answered. Thank you so much for your time and see you soon in our next session after we answer your questions. Thank you.